Millie, welcome, bienvenida a Mujer Latina Today. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to interview you.
Thank you, it's my pleasure.
Millie, ¿puedes compartir con los que nos escuchan cómo fue tu niñez y qué te inspiró para ser lo que eres hoy?
Mi niñez fue algo sencillo, ¿no? Mis padres eran inmigrantes, mi papá de España y mi mamá de Puerto Rico. Y él era cocinero y mi mamá se quedaba en la casa con nosotros. Lo único es que ella siempre seguía estudiando hasta que sacó su bachiller de la universidad. Éramos tres, yo era la única hembra, la mayor, y siempre todo fue... Mis padres estaban muy enfocados en educarnos para que saliéramos adelante.
¿Dónde vivías tú, Millie? ¿En Nueva York?
Yo soy nacida y criada en Nueva York. Vivíamos en Brooklyn. And I went to public high school.
Pero
I got accepted into a...
Millie, it was difficult for you. It was easy. You always knew that you want to be a corporate America.
Actually, no. I always thought I would study medicine, and I got all my qualifications to go to medical school. Medical school was very expensive even back then, and so I took a year off to earn some money and save some money to go to medical school. At which time, I just never went back to school. I just continued working and finding my niche. So, like I said, my parents were immigrants, so education was important. I was very focused. I was born and raised in New York City. There was a very poor image of what Puerto Ricans were in the city. Anybody who was Puerto Rican was probably not the nicest person you wanted to be with at that time. And that was the image that was portrayed in movies, everywhere.
So you grew up with a lot of stereotypes, but you were able to succeed. Thanks to your parents, do you think so?
Absolutely. I mean, my father was from Spain and my mother was from Puerto Rico. So even in many cases, my father, had some of those stereotypes in his mind. So it was difficult being a Latina, growing up bicultural, bilingual, in a society where they really didn't, Latinos were just coming of age there. There were very few in the university. There was more dropouts out of the university because they weren't prepared to do the college work yet.
There were so many obstacles that you have to face every single day, but you were able to make it.
I think the more you get hit with stereotypes, okay, the more I educated people that not everybody was the same. That, just because I was Puerto Rican didn't mean that I was not well educated, came from a broken home, lived, in the projects. The more I was hit with that, I think the more it motivated me to succeed, to be perfectly honest. And even in college, when the professors, my name is Millie Uriarte, so even when the professors would ask me, is English your second language? It would motivate me to really excel in that class. I took it as a motivational instead of letting it demotivate me and just be part of the system,
Well, that's the rebellious Latina that we were there, and your mother. And I think the cabeza dura that we have. You work in a big corporation. You work in United Airlines. Can you talk about how you started working there and how you reached a high responsibility position? Because you're a director now, you're in a top position.
Well, actually, I started in the airline industry after taking a leave of absence from a job that I held with the Department of Social Services. I had my daughter, and I didn't like being home. I loved being a parent, but didn't like being home. So I started working part-time with Eastern Airlines. And that would afford me, the stimulation that I needed to be out of the house. I worked 4 hours. I worked early in the morning, and so my husband would drop off my daughter at my mom's house, and by 10 o'clock in the morning, I was home. So it gave me the best of both worlds. From there, when Eastern went under, someone at Continental had noticed me, a supervisor there, and about about 2 weeks after Easter went under, she gave me a call to see if I was interested in working at the airport. So again, I started off part-time, and as my daughter got older, then I moved around and doing more. We moved from the airport to the CTO, still part-time, more responsibility. And then I guess about 10 years ago, I moved into sales. My mother was getting ready to retire, and my daughter was about 14. And the only way I would take the job was if I had a support system at home, because I didn't want my daughter to be a latchkey kid. I didn't want her to come home to an empty house. So once my mother said that she would help and support, then I started my career as a full-time, a real career, right, working full-time. And determination and, a good work ethic is where got me where I am today, I guess.
Now you're a director of sales at Latin America and the Caribbean. You work for United Airlines. Explain to us why your company is interested to reach out to the Hispanic Latino community, and tell us a little bit about how you plan to do that.
Okay, well, first of all, I started out, with Continental. We were headquarters in Houston. Okay, so that's a very Latin city, right? There's a lot of Latinos in Houston, and any company these days looks at buying power, right? And Latinos are going to have one of the highest buying powers of any other ethnic group in America. So we represent a big chunk of revenue in terms of, buying power. And Latinos are not only bilingual, they're bicultural. So it takes a special individual to be able to really focus in on that market. And one thing that they did, that the company did, the United now, right, was there was a need to develop a team that was not only bilingual but bicultural and would understand all of the nuances of the Latinos. Right. One is we take a lot of bags. Why do we take bags? Why do we always have more bags than most? Because we take little gifts back home, right?
That's true.
When we go home, we take even to the neighbor next door, right?
Yes, true.
Oh, no, I have to take something because it's part of our culture to give, to share what we have. Okay? So United was, they focused in on that. They developed a sales team that was not only bilingual, bicultural, and we're all over the United States. We understand the Latinos. We treat Latinos with dignity and respect. We know why they have too many bags. We know that it's to take gifts home. So all that is taken into consideration when we make decisions. And really, in my heart, I really enjoy what I do because not only do I lead by example as a Latina, I know what my people want. And as a Latina, you're sensitive to how you're being treated, okay? So it's important for us, for people, for when the abuelita comes from the Caribbean, Mexico, Central America, South America, that she's treated with dignity and respect. We have bilingual agents. We have bilingual signage. We have bilingual flight attendants on our flights from and to Latin America. And that's a great example to set. And as a matter of fact, that's why we've been so successful in the market.
So when you look back, Millie, and do you have a secret to success, something that worked for you and that you would like to share with us?
The secret to success is to be sincere, to lead by example, to be a mentor. Always treat people the way you want to be treated. I think in all cases you need to focus in, decide what your goal is, what you want to do, and how to get there. It's really, and anything, obstacles are there to make us stronger and overcome them, and then to help others, to go back to your community and help others, to be cognizant that you may make the difference in some young lady or some young person's life by just the way you've treated their parents, you've treated their grandmother, or just going back and talking and being a viable member of the community.
A suggestion for Hispanas and Latinos that aspire to reach positions such as yours?
Well, education is always a strong force to get you to open doors for you. And then once those doors are open for you, you work through them with your head up high, and always remember what your parents and what your culture is, no matter where you are. I think it's so important because as we tend to assimilate in the culture, we still have to remember what our origins, what our humble beginnings were, so that we can bring that. That's a gift that has been given to us to help us in finding what we want to do, how we want to do it, and what our focus should be.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Oh, thank you. You too. Have a great day.